Hi, we're Group 3. I'm Chris.
I'm
Ida.
Ida.
Lulu.
Lulu.
This is our content. At first, we're gonna talk about Camp David Accords and Cuban's Missile Crisis. Then here's about Camp David Accords background. So, Egypt, a leader in the League of Arab States, opposed Israel but sought peace under Anwar Sadat due to war fatigue, economic struggles, and international pressure. And Carter, the U.S. president administration, to stabilize the Middle East and address the Arab-Israeli conflict during the Cold War. Uh, so the outcome is on September 17, 1978, Sadat Peking and Carter signed the Camp David Accords. In 1979, Egypt and Israel formalized peace in the first treaty between Israel and an Arab nation.
So next we're gonna do a role play to demonstrate the negotiation process. I'll be playing Begin and Chris will be playing President Carter and Lulu will be playing President Sadat, the President of Egypt.
Gentlemen, thank you both of joining today's meeting once again. I know that discussions over the past few days have stalled on the issue of the Sinai. President Sadat, could you please share why Egypt insists to on the full return of Sinai?
President Carter, this is non-negotiable. Sinai is part of Egypt. It's a symbol of our sovereignty and holds immense historical and cultural importance. My people will not accept any agreement that does not include the complete return of Sinai.
President Sadat, I respect your emotion connection to Sinai, but we cannot ignore reality. Israel's national security depends on having a buffer zone. History has repeatedly demonstrated the risk we face without it.
I understand the concerns on both sides. Sinai represents sovereignty for Egypt and security for Israel. So could we explore a solution that would preserve Egypt's while ensuring Israel's security?
Hey, President Carter, I may be flexible on certain details, but Israel must unequivocally agree with withdraw entirely from Sinai. That's our position.
Complete withdrawal, that would be suicidal for us. President Sadat, would you consider partial neutralization of Sinai? For example, allowing United Nations peacekeeping forces to be stationed there to reduce our security concerns.
UN forces, that's a possibility worth discussing. But my people need to see our flag flying on every inch of Sinai once again.
President Sadat, the presence of UN forces would not diminish Egypt's sovereignty over Sinai. It would simply serve as a measure to maintain peace and give Israel some sense of security. Prime Minister Begin, would Israel consider as a phased withdrawal under UN supervision?
A phased withdrawal could be considered, but it must come with conditions. First, Egypt must publicly recognize Israel's legitimacy. Second, we must maintain freedom of navigation through the Strait of Terrain. This is a lifeline for us.
Recognize Israel, that would be an enormous political risk of Egypt. How do I explain this to the other Arab nations? My people might see this as a betrayal.
President Sadat, I fully understand your concerns, but if this step could bring lasting peace to Egypt and a better future for your people, wouldn't it be worth considering? Furthermore, Egypt will become the first Arab nation to sign a peace treaty with Israel, setting a historic precedent.
President Carter, I need more assurance. Prime Minister begin, if Egypt recognizes Israel, can you guarantee that Israel will refrain from any form of military aggression against us?
I can explicitly commit to this in the treaty, as long as Egypt adheres to the peace agreement. We will not undertake any hostile actions. This is a promise of good faith.
Excellent. I see that both sides are willing to make concessions. Let's record the following preliminary points of consensus. First, Israel will conduct a phased withdrawal from Sinai with UN forces stationed to maintain peace. Second, Egypt will publicly recognize Israel and establish formal diplomatic relations. Third, both sides will agree to ensure freedom of navigation through the Straits of Tehran.
These terms can serve as a foundation for further discussions, but we will need to refine the details.
I agree. This is a direction we can work toward. Let us continue our efforts to ensure every part of the agreement is workable.
This is a breakthrough moment. I truly believe we are making history moment together.
So I will analyze the negotiation skills of this case. So the first one is creating a win-win solution. President Carter proposed having UN forces stationed in Sinai, a classic win-win strategy, and this plan respects Egypt's sovereignty while addressing Israel's security concerns. And the second one is during rational discussions. Throughout the talk, Carter played a crucial role to easing tension and preventing deadlock, and he consistently redirected discussion toward political details and keeping the negotiation on track. And the next one is using silence strategically. President Sadat's moment of silence were not just pause, and they were deliberate move to exert pressure, signaling his firm stance and unwillingness to compromise.
The next one is testing boundaries. Prime Minister Begin skillfully tested Egypt's limits by suggesting partial demilitarization and phased withdrawals. This approach explored acceptable terms without making immediate concessions. And next one, appealing to emotions. Carter repeatedly highlighted the historical importance and the benefits for both nations' people. His emotion appeals helped influence the leader's decision-making process. And the last one is refining conditions. Both sides work to transform board principles into actionable agreements, like introducing UN forces and ensuring freedom of navigation in the Tehran Straits. This specific condition make the deal practical and achievable. This extended dialogue illustrates how the Camp David Accords key issues were debated and how compromises were reached. It also demonstrates the critical role of a skilled mediator, which is Mr. Carter, in guiding the process and ensuring both sides could achieve their core goals. This negotiation is a textbook example of balancing emotional appeals, logical reasoning, and creative problem solving.
Next, Shani and Reese will talk about Cuban Missile Crisis.
Good evening, I'm Chani. This is Reese. Today we're going to share Cuban Missile Crisis. In 1962, during the Cold War, several political and military crises lasting 1 month and 4 days erupts between the United States and the Soviet Union and Cuba, involving the missile-related issues. And here we are going to play their roles to share the dialogue. I will play Kennedy.
And I will present the Soviet leader Khrushchev.
Mr. Khrushchev, the missiles in Cuba pose a direct threat to us. The United States demands their immediate withdrawal, or the consequence will be unpredictable.
Mr. Kennedy, our missiles are a response to your deployment in Turkey, and we are willing to withdraw, but only if the U.S. pledges not to invade Cuba and considers removing its missiles from Turkey.
A non-invasion pledge can be offered informally, but the removal of missiles from Turkey must discuss privately, and the Soviet Union must first withdraw its missiles from Cuba.
Yeah, of course. But only if you can provide credible assurance, we will immediately begin the withdrawal process.
Then let us work together to draft a withdrawal plan and bring this crisis to an end.
Agreed. Peace is our shared goal. This page, we are gonna talk about the analyze and the negotiation skills and the dialogue analyze. The first point is both sides utilize trade-offs to reach a consensus, and the second one is balancing domestic public opinions and international pressures. And next, we are going to talk about the
So
skills.
the first point is in your negotiations, expressing a clear position helps communication effectively, and you can avoid the risk of misunderstandings. And next skills is about in some complex negotiations, finding a balance that enables all parties to save dangers while achieving the interest is crucial. And in the third point, avoid some emotional reactions in negotiations and maintain a calm behaviors to prevent the situation from spiraling out of control.
And the fourth one is flexible use of public and private channels. And in negotiations, leveraging multi-level communication channels can help build consensus and move talks forward. And the second one is time management and pressure controls. And precisely controls of the negotiations tempo can compel the other side to make concessions. And the next one is accuracy in intelligence and forecasting. And through the preparations and accurate anticipations of the other side's actions, strength bargaining power in negotiations. And so above the Cuban Missile Crisis during the Cold War stands as a remarkably successful examples of negotiations, and the techniques outlined above remain highly relevant for modern international negotiations. And this is the end of our presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.
For listening.